have an arbitration date coming up. Just and if it does go your way, how do you kind of repair the relationship to continue out the contract?
Well, look, we're having the great thing about Vergil and I now is that we have conversations now between our teams. It's not with the lawyers. You know, we're spending a lot of lawyer fee money on lawyers, this, that. We're having a civil conversation now, so I'm very optimistic that we can work things out. We already won the first time around. The judge favored us, so I'm very positive the judge will favor us once again when that happens. But the fact is, we are having conversations. Look, and I want Vergil to fight. That's his livelihood. That's his craft. That's what he does best. And me as a fighter and promoter, I want him to be up in the ring. So we're having dialogue, and I can't wait to get a date for Vergil and get his career back on track.
Bro, did you hear Oscar De La Hoya? He just confirmed that there's a possibility, I'm very optimistic, that we can work things out. I'm tired of paying for lawyer fees, both of us, and we are talking in a civil conversation, having dialogue. No more talking to the lawyers, not having them involved. With Vergil Ortiz's team, optimistic that they could work things out, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, where did things change? Where did things change? Has Vergil Ortiz and Rick Merigian, the manager of Vergil Ortiz, have they succumbed to the pressure from Oscar De La Hoya? All this arbitration, Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, re-signing with the Zone. Jerome Boots Ennis fighting Xander Zayas. The junior middleweight division continuing without him. Vergil Ortiz and Rick Merigian, who were at war with Oscar De La Hoya, now seems everything has flipped. Oscar De La Hoya is claiming, bro, that he is in talks with Vergil Ortiz's team. And I'm very interested to see who initiated the first text, the first call. You know, Rick Merigian was going on social media posting that he would like to meet Oscar De La Hoya in Los Angeles, him and Holly, him and his wife, and re-talk everything out that, you know, the media, social media, you know, we never actually spoken, me and you, Oscar. You know, I try to call you, I try to contact you, but we never spoken. I'll fly to LA right now. Y'all remember when Rick Merigian, this is towards the end of the battle, leading up until this point. Rick Merigian, at first, Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions deal comes to an end at the end of 2025. And in the contract of Vergil Ortiz, it stated that if Golden Boy Promotions didn't re-sign with the Zone, with the TV broadcasting network, then Vergil Ortiz would be allowed to exit his contract. So even though Golden Boy Promotions was still working with the Zone, still putting on vets on the Zone, and was in talks with the Zone, and now we've seen has signed with the Zone, Rick Merigian and Vergil Ortiz used to look to use that statement in the contract to get out of it. And at the end of the day, it was all about the money, right? They used that because they didn't like the negotiation process that they had in setting up the Jerome Boots Ennis fight. They wanted $7 million. They wanted more of a guaranteed fight. De La Hoya offering 3 when Rick Merigian's minimum was 2.5 anyways. All the battles, all the arguments, Rick Merigian claiming that because they didn't come to a deal with the Jerome Boots Ennis fight, he wanted to move on with Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya. But Oscar De La Hoya told him, take this fight and I ain't giving you no more offers. I ain't giving you no more offers, so you can sit down on the bench, and I'm gonna blame it on you, Rick Mirigian. Do you guys remember that? Huh? Wow. I don't know where things changed, but at one point, Rick Mirigian and Vergil Ortiz seemed to be very confident in the process that they were going in. But as time went on, the first court ruling that they had between Oscar De La Hoya and Vergil Ortiz, they ruled in favor of Oscar De La Hoya, putting a temporary restraining order and keeping it on him, on Vergil Ortiz, and allowing to compel an arbitration, right? It seemed like things were heading towards Oscar De La Hoya's way anyways. I thought maybe Rick Mirigian and them would want to put up an argument during this process, you know, and let the arbitrator figure things out. But now, you know, we seen Rick Mirigian reach out to him saying he'd be down to go to LA. Now we see that there's civil conversations going down with Oscar De La Hoya, and De La Hoya announces, I can't wait until we have a fight date and a fight announcement once again to continue on working with Vergil Ortiz. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like all this might be coming to an end. That's actually great news and good to hear from Oscar De La Hoya. But let me know what you guys think. This is the MMA Boxing Addicts channel reporting to you. I text Rick Mirigian. I showed him the video, the clip that I just showed you guys, and I wanted to get his stance. I wanted to know. I text him straight up, bro, Oscar De La Hoya is talking about talking to Vergil Ortiz's team. You are part of Vergil Ortiz's team, so does that mean that you are in talks with Golden Boy Promotions as the manager of Vergil Ortiz? Or were you not included in this conversation? Is De La Hoya not speaking to you? Because we got to get down to the facts, man. We got to get down to the facts. Are they trying to push Rick out now? Because De La Hoya said he ain't ever working with Rick. But at the same time, money talks. De La Hoya, during this process, has always been open to having Vergil Ortiz coming back, but has absolutely belittled Rick Mirigian. But Rick Mirigian is the manager of Vergil Ortiz, and Vergil Ortiz is going to stick by his side. So we got to see how things play out. But let me know what you guys think, man. Absolutely breaking news.